Welcome to the fourth episode of the 4 Out 1 In podcast with your host, George Hamilton III.
And Carlos Costas.
How you doing, bro?
Honestly, I'm good. I'm excited for playoff basketball. Just watched the Nets beat the Cavs, and now we got the Clipper game right now happening. I mean, me and you were talking before the pod. We were just talking about Cat being playing kind of soft in this first half. But how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Baseball season just started, so I've been watching a lot of Giants games and getting ready for the playoffs as well. I missed part of the Brooklyn Cavs game. I caught the second half, but apparently KD and Kyrie looked good, so I'm not surprised. And I kind of had them winning that game anyway. But looking forward to this Clipper game while it's on.
No, for sure. I mean, to hold on to start off with this plan talk, the Brooklyn. I mean, Kyrie looked phenomenal. In the first half, he was like a perfect 10 for 10, 9 for 9, something like that. With one layup, he was getting to his spots. Cleveland had no answer for him. Who was on him? I think. I mean, Karis LeVert had KD and Kyrie. He had either assignment, and I think Rondo took the other. But I mean, they were playing KD as best as they could, and then the times that KD, when they played him full court, KD literally stopped at half court and was like, "All right, Kai, the rest of the team go to work." And I mean, they just got whatever they wanted. Cleveland, it looked like they were playing some hero ball, and then the times they ran a set, it worked in their favor. But hopefully they can pick things up. I would like to see them in the playoffs. I like DG is one of my guys. So yeah, hopefully they get another win. But I mean, it's a tough out. Charlotte and Atlanta, they're both two teams that can definitely make some noise in that playing game too. So
I mean, I guess before we get into the awards and all that and the NBA teams and all that, I guess we can make our predictions for tomorrow's playing games. So out of Charlotte, go ahead.
Well, yeah, okay. Charlotte, Atlanta. I think I'm gonna give the edge to Atlanta. I think Trae Young's been on an absolute tear, and I don't think they're about to stop him. Especially, he's a big moments type of guy. I don't think they're stopping him.
And I guess you can make the other pick for New Orleans, San Antonio, and then I'll say mine for both.
Honestly, I don't really know who I'm gonna pick because I mean, this Clipper game, obviously, homer pick, but I mean the Clippers look like the good right now to win this game, and then even in the next game, I think Minnesota's gonna take it. I think we're locked 7-8. I don't see San Antonio or New Orleans giving either team, whether it's the Timberwolves or the Clippers, a tough game. But if I had to pick, I think I'm gonna go with New Orleans.
I like it. I like both picks.
I mean, reason being for that. I mean, I think just they have a little more experience in the playoffs than the Spurs do. I don't know if anyone on the Spurs has been in a playoff series when I think about it. But I mean, you got some vets on the Pelican side. I mean, CJ running in, BI. Yeah, I think they can pull out a win.
All right. I like both picks. As for me, I'm going to agree with you on the Atlanta-Charlotte pick. I've caught a lot of the Atlanta Hawks games. They look really good. Injuries were sort of the problem they had this year. But Charlotte, while they play fast because LaMelo and them are young, they are one of the worst defensive teams, if I'm not mistaken, in the league. So, I mean, obviously the big matchup is Trae Young versus LaMelo Ball, but at the same time, it's going to come down to the role players, and I wholeheartedly believe Atlanta's role players are better than Charlotte's. And as for San Antonio and New Orleans, I got New Orleans. CJ McCollum what is it? trade deadline acquisition. Couldn't think of the name. Trade
Yeah,
deadline
yeah.
acquisition got hot right after he came along. Obviously, they took the ninth spot from the Lakers, and the Lakers fell down after that. But and then as for San Antonio's just in a rebuilding phase. So I think the best thing for them is to kind of get into the lottery again and go from there. Because New Orleans, literally, we're just wait. The entire NBA is waiting on Zion to come back to see what this team can actually do. So
No,
I
for
have
sure.
go ahead. So I have New Orleans winning the 9-10 game, and then but I do have them losing to the winner of Clippers, or losing to the loser of Clippers Timberwolves.
Right. Yeah, I think we're for sure in agreement on all of these.
Yep. So I guess from there we can you want to go into playoff predictions right now, or uh
Yeah, let's get into it straight
all
from the
right,
plane.
let me uh let me bring up the bracket on my other computer, because I don't know if I'm able to look it up on the actual podcast without it being copyrighted. Uh, so bracket, East or West first.
Let's go with the East.
All right. So Miami. I mean, we can wait on Miami, Atlanta. Well, we both said. Well, we didn't actually say who would win between Cleveland and Atlanta. Or yeah, Cleveland and Atlanta.
Uh, oh, that is a very tough game because I'm a fan of the Cavs, but I do believe in Trae Young. I feel very wrong for me to just call Trae Young like the entire Atlanta Hawks, but I mean the season that he's had and the momentum he's coming in these last couple games of the regular season. Um, I think I think Atlanta might pull through on this one. I think the inexperience of Cleveland uh, showed against this Nets team too. Um, Without a doubt, I would love to see them in the playoffs and in the 7 game series. But now that I think about it, and now that I don't know if when I look at it, I think I like Atlanta.
Yeah, this is going to be a toss up because if Jared Allen plays, I might give the edge to the Cavs, just because Garland versus Trey Young, they probably will cancel out. So it just comes down to Levert and the role players for the Cavs against like John Collins, Capella, and the role players for the Hawks. So that one is honestly a toss up, and I would honestly say give the edge to the Cavs. I'm gonna disagree with you on this one.
I mean, if Jared Allen comes back, understandably so. He was an All Star this year, had a great season holding down the defense, and is pretty productive on offense. So, I mean, I can see it go whatever way. I'm not. I won't even be mad at it. Honestly, I'd love to see any of those teams, um, in the East. I just like how competitive the East is, whether the top or the bottom in this plan. Um, I think when the East is good, it's just good for the NBA in general. So I'm happy with whatever pick. I won't be mad. I'd love to see whatever team. I just want some good basketball to be played.
Facts. Trey Young over his last 5 games has averaged. He's put up 36, 36, 36 and 10, 26 and 15, 30 and 11, 35 and 8, and 28 and 11 on good
What's the
efficiency.
record? What was their record?
They went 3-2.
I don't know, man. Ice Trey, he's not one to play with.
Yeah. So from that, I guess we can make the arguments for both the Cavs and the Atlanta Hawks against Miami, since they're the number 1 seed.
I think Miami's gonna pull through. I don't know, in 4 or 5. 6 at most. I do not see that series going to 7. Whether it's the Cavs or it's the Hawks. But I don't know. I think Miami's too well of a team. Even though they're kind of, I don't want to call them old, but I don't want to call them young. They're like a weird in between where they got some vets and some young guys, but even their young guys are vets because they went on a title run in the bubble. So I mean, I think they have way too much experience under their belt. I think the chemistry they played with all season is a big reason why they came out of this top of the East. Um, so yeah, I like them in their first round, whoever they play against.
I will agree with you. I feel like Miami, they've been sort of, I don't want to say slept on because obviously other teams in that conference include Philly, Milwaukee, and Brooklyn on top of Boston as well. And Miami, they've just been coasting it. I mean, Jimmy Butler hasn't had the best season. He's been injury prone and he's had some games where he hasn't played well. But Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, those guys have stepped up really well. And I believe that Miami will probably, as you said, take it. They'll beat either Atlanta or Cleveland. I'd say 5 for Cleveland. I'd give Cleveland a game, and 6 for Atlanta. Trae Young will find a way to get 2 games.
Oh, for sure. I think Trey can take a game from you. I mean, if Trey puts up like, I don't know, 30 plus, we'll go with like 36 plus. Trey's very capable of doing that. 36 plus and 10 in a playoff series. Him being an underdog, I could very well see that. Let me just say this, that I love that the top 2 seeds in both conferences have been like crept their way to the top very quietly. The Phoenix Suns made a title run and everything, but I still think they have had a very quiet season in the media's eyes, I guess, and Memphis too. I mean, when Ja went down, they kind of got stopped getting talked about as much. I mean, Ja gets you all the clicks and stuff, but I mean, you can't sleep on the seasons that those two have been having. And on top of that, Miami and Boston, both comfortably in the 1 and 2 spot in the East. I don't know. I just like that it's not any. I don't even want to say it's like a small market team because I wouldn't even call it that at this point. Just like less talked about teams sitting at the top. I think it's going to be super exciting and great for those cities too. But what's our next matchup in the East? The 4-5.
4-5. So Philly and Toronto. Now Philly, they won't have Matisse Thybulle for the road games. So who would you take?
I mean, my my first instinct is Philly, and I'm gonna say Philly, but I do think that Toronto can give you a series. I think even though it's been a couple years, the Toronto Philly almost want to call it a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one, and this year's going to be another good one too. I think Toronto is playing with some. I don't know, like they're a bunch of underdogs, like top to bottom. Look at their roster. If it's Freddie, if it's Pascal snub from All Star, everyone's gonna say that. I mean, Gary Trent, who got traded and it was kind of overlooked. Even Scotty Barnes, no one even wanted. Yeah, I mean, he was what, the 4th pick, but everyone thought he was going to go like 5 or lower. So I mean, you can even count him as an underdog too. So I think they're definitely going to play with the chip on their shoulders. And then I think Joel has a lot to prove. Him and James Harden, I think they both have a lot to prove. Trying to make this work, but I mean that duo has looked so solid, and Joel leading the league in scoring, finishing with what 30 a game.
Yep.
I think he's gonna perform in the playoffs for sure, as long as he stays healthy. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Philly in 6.
All right. Partially, I will agree with you. I got Philly in 7. I saw a post on Twitter yesterday and from someone, I can't remember the account, and it had a list of, it was a basketball reference page,
I
basketball
know what
reference
you're talking
page
about.
of all of the players on the Raptors and like their height. And I'm like, this might be a challenge for Philly to actually score against this team. Like Joel is probably still going to get his 30 and 10, 30 and 11, but this will come down to James Harden playing well, Tyrese Maxey playing well. Tobias Harris might be the X factor just because they're going to need him in the games Matisse Thybulle really doesn't play. And I'm like, Toronto, Toronto could give Philly a good 7-game series. Like, I wouldn't underestimate them at all. Like Pascal, Fred, as you said, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, possibly rookie of the year. I know he's like sort of out of the running. A lot of people have Cade and Evan Mobley, but Scotty Barnes, I mean, even the bench, they have Thaddeus Young, Kem Birch. They have a bunch of solid role player guys that out of nowhere, they just went from a potential, not a potential, but a projected lottery team to the fifth seed in the conference, which no one really expected. So I got Philly in 7, but I would not be surprised if Toronto were to shock the NBA world and beat Philadelphia. And I could only imagine if that were to happen, what would happen with James Harden and Joel Embiid.
I mean, I just to think of hypotheticals. I don't know. I think James Harden resigns, but that's a whole different topic.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole different topic.
So I guess we'll move on to the 3 and the 6, which is Milwaukee and Chicago.
This is a Midwest matchup that I've been waiting for the whole season. Man, these are two teams that I don't even know what to say. I mean, we talked about it. I'm not sure if we talked about it in the first episode or the warm-up episode that we called it. That the Bulls have not beat any top 3 teams like this whole season, basically. And they're playing the MVP, one of the MVP runners and Defensive Player of the Year runners and defending champs, the Bucks, of all teams. So I think Chicago definitely has a lot to prove, but I'm gonna have to give it to Milwaukee in 5. I think as good of a season as DeMar and Zach have been, I think Zach I think the playoffs are going to be very different for him. I think this is his first playoff series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's the
in his career. Yeah, right. He was the only one that didn't make the playoffs, right? He was the oldest player.
Yeah.
That's something like that. So I think I mean, I don't really know what to expect from Zach. It's his first playoff series again, as good of a player as he is. And then a lot of your role players that you had to start off the season kind of went down. And I think I think they don't match up well with Giannis at all. I don't think they have anyone that can slow down Giannis. I don't even want to say stop because that's not even the question. I don't think they have anyone to slow down Giannis. And when Giannis is firing on all cylinders, you saw it last year. They won a championship. So I'm calling Bucks in 5.
I got Bucks in 6. I do believe the Bulls can take 2 games from them. It just depends on how DeMar DeRozan will play. Will the DeFrozen nicknames come out? And Zach LaVine and how Zach LaVine plays in his first playoff series and how the team performs overall. I got the season series for Bulls and Bucks. Obviously, the Bulls lost every game. There was only 2 close games, both one at the end of January and one at the beginning of March, which were Bucks by 4 and then Bucks by 6. And then late March, they played again in late March and then early April, and the Bucks beat the Bulls by like 40. Bucks beat the Bulls by 40 in the 3rd game, and then in the 4th game, they beat them by like 20. So, I mean, it'll just come down to how the Bulls play. As you said, as you mentioned, I don't think they have anyone to stop Giannis. In one of the games I watched, I think it was the January 21st game, if I'm not mistaken. game, they had Caruso on Giannis, and while Caruso was locking up Giannis on some plays, like you're not going to expect him to do that for at least half of the game, and you're going to have to rely on a guy like Patrick Williams, who basically missed all of this season, to try and guard Giannis along with Javonte. I want to say it's Javonte Green or Javonte Smart, but I think it's Javonte Green. You're gonna have to rely on him. Yeah. Okay. I was like, I think there's Javonte Smart in like Miami or something like that. But Javonte Green to guard Giannis. So like it's going to be a toss-up, or not a toss-up. It's going to be hard for the Bulls. I do think they can take 2 games, at least maybe in Chicago. I don't see them. And then obviously for the Bucks, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, they're gonna be the second and third options. Bobby Portis,
P.
I don't know if he will start, but if he does, he probably won't start. But off the bench, he's gonna give you at least 15 probably, along with Pat Connaughton giving you at least 10, just hitting threes consistently. Villain Grayson Allen being a huge part of that rotation, and I think the Bucks will win in 6. As for our last series, we've got Boston and Brooklyn, a flip of last year. Brooklyn being the 7 seed, Boston being the 2 seed. Who you got?
I mean, damn, dude, this is such a tough series because I mean, it's really not a 2-7 matchup. Like records aside, this is not a 2-7 matchup. This is like a conference finals type matchup here, and I think it's big time that you're gonna have Kyrie the entire time for a whole 7-game series, and I think this one will stretch out to 7. I think, I mean, is Robert Williams, is he healthy?
Let me see. I feel like they said he'd be back, but I'm gonna check right now. I'm putting his name in right now. Robert
I mean, regardless,
Williams.
I think
that says no.
He's out.
Yeah, from the NBA, the first news article that popped up, it said Celtics anticipate playing the first round without Robert Williams.
That's big time because this is a matchup where I think you definitely need Robert Williams. I think you need to take advantage of a presence down low. But damn, dude, I don't even know who I think will go with. I mean, if the Nets play like they did today, they're going to be very difficult to beat. But I do believe in the Celtics at the same time. I think this one's definitely going to go to 7 for a fact. I think honestly this series is going to come down to who on the Celtics steps up, because I think Tatum, you for sure know what you're going to get from Tatum. I think like players like Smart or like yeah, I think it's really going to depend on the Celtics and what you're going to get, because you know what you're going to get from KD, Kyrie, and I think the role players on the Nets played super well. I mean, you saw how good Bruce Brown was tonight. The dude looked like Draymond Green out there. It was kind of crazy when they blitz on the pick and roll, and he's finding his guys in open space, which is a scary sight to see playing against them. But I think I want to go with Brooklyn in 7.
All right. I'm honestly going to agree with you, Brooklyn in 7, just looking based off of their season series matchups. Obviously, no Kyrie. Let me check what this February 6th game is. Boston, that was a home game, so Kyrie did not play that game. So the Nets won the first game by almost 20. Celtics won the second game by they beat them by 35. And then the Celtics took the late February game in by 23. And then the Celtics beat the Nets in March. And I think Kyrie played that game, if I'm not mistaken. So the Celtics took the season series 3-1. Obviously, Kyrie not playing at least 3 of those games. You can say what you want about it. The Nets are when healthy, especially if Ben Simmons plays. I could see them. I do see them beating the Celtics in 7. It's going to come down to how they play overall collectively. They do have some defensive issues, but overall, like tonight, they played very good defense. I mean, they almost gave up the lead, and as the Cavs almost came back. But I do feel that Brooklyn and the Celtics not having Robert Williams down in the paint, Drummond might be able to feed Drummond and Claxton. Let me rephrase that. They might be able to feast down low because while Tice and Horford are good defenders, I don't think Tice can handle a guy like Drummond or Claxton down low. As for the Celtics, I do believe that Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown will show up. It's just going to come down to guys like Derek White, Grant Williams off the bench. I forget who else is on that team off the top of my head, but it's just going to come down to the role players, as we said. I think Brooklyn will win in 7, but I would not be surprised if Boston were to win in 7 either. But I got Brooklyn as well.
Excited to see that series. That's going to be one for the history books. Should we move to the West?
Yeah. Let's go. Do you want to go? We said we put Timberwolves at 8, right?
Yeah. Let's put the Wolves at 8.
All right.
So we're on the same page.
So Phoenix, Minnesota.
Give me Phoenix already. Give me Phoenix. I don't know, man. I think they're going to go on another run. I think they got some fire in them. That they did everything like it wasn't a fluke year for them. They didn't have a cakewalk to the finals, and they proved that they are that team. I don't know. I think Minnesota is too inexperienced and a little too, I guess, inconsistent with their guys either way. And I mean, the Suns have been a model of consistency this entire season. And I think Book is coming out with something to prove. CP, you're always going to say it might be his last year coming out and have a deep playoff run. But I think give me Phoenix in 4, man.
Not much to be said. Not much to be said in this series. Phoenix in 4. Phoenix.
4.
Phoenix and do we need to explain Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre, Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne? Like, this team is stacked. Arguably the best team, well, not even arguably, they are the best team in the league. Would you say the favorites to win the title?
Favorites? I mean, in my eyes, yes, but to Vegas, maybe not. I don't know. I haven't looked at on all that stuff, but I mean, just being the number 1 team in the NBA, I think they should put you as favorites. If not, then that's more to my point that they do not get the love that they deserve in the media.
I agree.
But Phoenix in 4.
Yeah, not much needs to be said about that series. But let's move on to the 4-5, Dallas and Utah.
This is one that I don't think they've ever played in the Luka Doncic era, have they, in the playoffs? But this is one I'm kind of excited to see. But I think, I mean, I think this series, if you get everything, from Donovan Mitchell, Rudy, and the rest of the Jazz, and Luka Luka. I think this series is going to 7. I think this. I don't know. Luka is a playoff performer. As young as he is, he does what he's supposed to do. In the playoffs, I think it's just the rest of his team that doesn't step up this time, and I think that's what it is going to come down to, is if the Mavericks collectively can get their stuff together. But I mean, I don't know. The Twitter NBA fan in me wants to say Dallas in 7 because the Jazz will never win a first round playoff series, but I could see the Jazz winning just based on their depth and Donovan Mitchell, he is also another playoff performer too. But I'm back and forth. I think I'm going with Dallas in 7.
I didn't want to interrupt you. So I let you get your point across, but you didn't see what happened to Luka, did you?
To Luka?
Yeah.
I did. He hurt his ankle, but even on one ankle, I'm taking Luka Doncic, buddy.
Even
That
if
man
he
is a different animal.
even if he doesn't play like the first 2 games.
Is that what the report said? I thought he was just he was just questionable for the first game.
There he's questionable, but like everyone, like it's a grade. I don't know if they actually like said it was a grade 1 or grade 2, but if it is a grade 1, like the optimal recovery time is like 2 weeks.
I saw what happened to him, but I thought he was just questionable. But when it's questionable and it's the playoffs and it's Luka, I thought he'd just be like, "F it, I'll play."
Nah, because yesterday on Twitter, I guess like some guy who I guess he works for the Mavs. His friend like took a picture because he was at the hospital, and Luka was like in a walking booth with like someone as he was walking in.
That has to be illegal. To take a picture of him, like, that has to be illegal, man.
Nah, but yeah, like I don't know if I even said it, like if Luka, like you don't want to chance it with the calf injury, because like obviously like KD, we thought he had a calf injury and he came back and for his Achilles, so like it's not an injury you want to chance. But like knowing Luka and knowing like the fire and passion he plays with, I wouldn't be shocked if, like he said, if the Mavs ruled him out the first 2 games and then like he's like, I'm coming back for game 3. Or so
well, I mean, if that's the case and he's out too, I don't see the Mavericks winning a game without Luka Doncic. But if he comes back fully healthy in 3, he's winning 4 straight. I'm that confident in Luka, man.
So you say the Jazz blow a 3-0 lead?
I mean, if that's the case, I won't be surprised. But I don't know. If Luka's out more than like a game, I'll give it to the Jazz. But if Luka's playing, I think it'll go to 7, and I think Luka has to pull something out, as he always does, to win it. Now that I get the news on that, I really thought he was just questionable, and Luka's a dog, and he's just gonna play through it.
Nah. Like I'm gonna look it up, because yesterday I heard he was questionable, and then but they didn't want to like actually like say, oh, is he coming back or is he like out? But let's see. So the first article that popped up is an ESPN article, and it says no timetable on the return of Dallas Mavericks Luka Doncic, as MRI confirms he is diagnosed with a calf injury.
This is a calf strain, but what's the time on the calf strain though?
When I looked it up, they said it was 7. Like if it's a grade 1, it's 7 to 10 days. But if you want to like be fully healthy, it's like 2 weeks.
It says I don't think it said what it is, but yeah, you're right. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, do you think the Mavs have a shot without a Luca?
No,
Yeah,
their
absolutely not.
their entire offense is built around Luca. They traded their other star for obviously for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans, who are both role players who actually have played well since they've been in Dallas. So, but not having Luca, who is the primary pick and roll ball handler outside of Jalen Brunson, he literally is running that offense. Like without him, I don't think the Mavs have a shot. They may take a game or two, but they're not winning the series. They probably will only take a game without Luca. So
The the game is if Tim Hardaway Jr. drops 50.
I don't even know if he's coming back. So
Is he out too?
yeah,
That
he's
just
been out.
shows you how much I've been watching Mavericks games, bro.
Yeah, he's been out since I want to say since February. Let me see. Is Timmy coming back? Oh no, he's out. It says, well, I don't know if this is a trustworthy source. This says Tim Hardaway Jr.'s foot is making progress, expected to miss the 2022 NBA playoffs. But as I said, I don't know if that's a reliable source.
Well, I mean, if he hasn't played since February, he's probably right. I'm just a casual.
I know you've been watching college for the past like month, so the NBA news was up to me.
Fair.
uh,
That's why we work so well together.
Facts. I guess we can move on to the 3 and the 6. Golden State, Denver.
I would love to see this matchup. I'd love to watch it. Dude, just the offense in a series between Nikola Jokic and the Warriors. I don't want to say Steph Curry because I think the Warriors in general, their offense is beautiful. Man, that's going to be such a fun series to watch. Um, I think I have to go Golden State. This one, uh, probably in like 7, 6, 7, probably 7. I think Jokic is that good. I'm gonna say Golden State in 7. I think um, the 3 is Draymond healthy before I say anything, and I don't know injury
Yeah, he's been
statuses.
back. Yeah, he's been back.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to double check before I start speaking again, but I think them 3 together in the playoffs, in their element, really, and the rest of the Warriors cast playing that well. I think Jokic being a one-man show. I think Jokic is that good that he can pull out a couple games, but I'm saying Warriors in 7.
So this season, uh, the Nuggets actually took the season series 3-1. But all the games were literally, well, except for the last one, which the Warriors won, all the games were under 7 points. The first game, the Nuggets won by 3. The second game, the Nuggets won by 1, and I think that was a buzzer beater, but I can't remember who the buzzer beater was by. But anyways, yeah, they won that game on a buzzer beater. The third game, they won by 7, and the fourth game, the Warriors won by 11. But honestly, a matchup of my MVP, Nikola Jokic versus the Warriors. Depending on how well his teammates play, if you get games like you do, if you get games like on occasionally you do from Bones Highland, from Will Barton, from Bryn Forbes, who I kind of expect to be a huge X factor in this series because if he can shoot the ball well, they've got a chance. You have Jeff Green and Aaron Gordon down low to help Nikola Jokic. So I feel the Nuggets will give the Warriors a game, or not a game, a series. As for the Warriors, Steph, he should be back because they literally rested him for like the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Clay Thompson, obviously, last 3 games, has been hot from three, literally averaging probably 30 points on probably 45% shooting from three over his last 3 games. And as I expected, he would catch fire at least one. He'd catch fire before the end of the season. I knew it. Like, you don't play basketball for 2 years. You're gonna have your ups and your downs, but eventually the Klay Thompson we all know and love was going to come back. Uh, I hope Andrew Wiggins can find his his pre All-Star game form, because post All-Star game he has been kind of, I don't want to even use the word horrendous because that would be an overstatement, but he's been bad. And then you got Draymond Green, literally the captain, the playmaker of the offense outside of Curry, the heart and soul of this team. You have your possible sixth man of the year in Jordan Poole, and guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Juan Toscano Anderson off the bench. Personally, I got Warriors in 6. I would be shocked if it went 7, but I honestly got Warriors in 6. I don't think a Nikola Jokic led Nuggets team without his 2 missing co-stars is enough to beat the Warriors. Would be shocked if it happens, but I got Warriors in 6.
For sure.
And as for the last matchup, I mean, we both said, taking the bias out, even though we are currently down right now, we got Memphis and the Clippers.
I mean, all bias aside, give me the Clippers. Give me the Clippers in 7. I'm so serious. Give me the Clippers in 7. I think, again, a quiet season. I think we have very veteran guys that play their role and know their role. And we have not shied away from any tough game this entire season. So give me them in 7. I think the Grizzlies don't have a lot of experience, though their depth is damn near just as good as ours, if not better. But I don't know, dude. I'm going with the underdog on this one. It probably is a little biased in me, but I'm going with the Clippers in 7.
Nah, I was talking with a lot of Clipper fans on Twitter, and a lot of us think that we can beat Memphis if we do win tonight. We have our experience, the acquisitions from the trade deadline, and Rocco and Norman Powell serve to be huge in this series. And honestly, this is just a chess match of 2 great teams with one star player, Ja Morant versus PG, and great complementary players and role players such as Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell. For the Clippers, at least, Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell. Rocco has been shooting the ball and playing defense at an elite level since he's gotten here. You got Zubac down low. And then for Memphis, Desmond Bain, second year leap? Yeah, second year leap. DeAnthony Melton and Tyus Jones off the bench. You've got Zaire Williams playing huge minutes as a rookie, even when Ja Morant was out. And honestly, this team is, as the stats have shown, this team has played well without Ja Morant. They were 20-2 in the regular season without Ja Morant. So, I mean, this is literally just a chess match of 2 great teams coached by 2 great coaches, I should say, and Ty Lue and Taylor Jenkins, if I'm not mistaken. I almost lost my train of thought there, but Ty Lue and Taylor Jenkins. So I honestly got the Clippers in 7, but if Memphis beats us, it'll be a great series regardless.
For sure. I think Memphis, obviously they're the favorites to win that matchup. But shout out to Tyus Jones. I saw this stat on Twitter about his assist to turnover ratio. He has he broke the record. It was like a crazy stat. he had like 700 something assists to like 46 turnovers.
Yeah, I think it was
That's
like
insane.
704.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And I mean, is he up for a new contract? Because the Grizzlies better pay that man because he's as solid of a backup point guard as you would want. He's probably the guy you want backing up your star point guard.
Yeah, I think this year is his last year. The Grizzlies have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. Kyle Anderson, they weren't able to
Yeah.
trade. So he's a free agent. I can't remember if he's unrestricted or restricted, but I'm pretty sure he's unrestricted. I think Tyus Jones should be or not, yeah, Tyus Jones. Almost said Trey.
Yeah, I
Uh
think
Tyus Jones should be an unrestricted free agent. So they do have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. But it's one of those things. Who do they really bring back? Do they bring back Kyle Anderson or do they bring back Tyus Jones? Even though they have DeAnthony Melton off the bench already.
I would say it that also depends on that. And it also depends on the draft. I think those are two positional needs, kind of that wing depth. I don't even want to say wing, like big depth, um, and very solid guard play behind John. I think if I'm not mistaken, they have like a late first pick. But I mean, we can get into the draft at a different time. It's my favorite time of the year, though. I had to mention it just to slide it in there.
I mean, I know it's early. Do you want to like go to the second round, or should we just wait till when all the teams are settled and then we'll make our picks and all that?
Let's wait.
All right.
Let's wait because watch us be completely wrong and neither the Clippers or the Wolves make it. And then my Clippers in 7 rant will be for nothing.
All right. All right. I guess we can move on to the awards for this season. I'm gonna share my screen and I guess we'll do the awards together, I guess. All right. So we can go. We'll leave MVP for last, actually. So we'll go with. We'll start with. Oh well, Coach of the Year. They already like sort of named who it was, which was Monty Williams. So I guess we can just agree on that because that's already
I mean,
there.
I think he was gonna be my pick either way. I think Monty Williams deserves it for the second year.
Yeah, so we can just both agree on that. I mean, I had Ty Lue, but obviously Clippers bias there, but because of go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say Ty Lue was my number 2, but I think Monty Williams again producing another great season, number 1 best team in the league in a franchise record of wins. I think that has to show for something, and sitting atop of the entire league, I think he is the favorite to win that one again. Anyways,
so I guess we can go to. You want to start with? Oh, I actually forgot one of these. Bless you. I actually forgot one of these. One of the more important ones. Guess we can start with Rookie of the Year. So
you want to give your pick first?
Yeah, I was reading I'll start. Yeah, I'll start. I was reading an article by Dan Devine, who works for The Ringer and very well-known NBA journalist. Worked for Yahoo Sports prior to The Ringer, and he did a article listing his top 3 to top 5. I guess you can call them nominees for all the awards. And for Rookie of the Year, as most people know, it's Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, and Cade Cunningham. On his, he had Scotty Barnes as his number 1, Evan Mobley as his 2, and Cade as his 3. And honestly, I honestly would go with Scotty Barnes just because he led this. It's a toss-up because Scotty Barnes was a pivotal reason of why the Raptors made it to the 5 seed. But Evan Mobley has a great case because of the fact that he was a huge reason why the Cavs were a top 4 seed prior to them having all the injuries post All-Star break. So it's one of those cases where, and then you have Cade Cunningham, who has been on fire since post All-Star break. But this award, I'd say, is, like most awards, is based on all season and the entire season. And so I would honestly give my vote to Scotty Barnes, but I wouldn't be opposed if like Evan Mobley got the award. These two players have been on fire the entire season. It just comes down to preference and who you think is better. So I got Scotty Barnes on my list.
I think for me, my rookie of the year, I agree with everything you said. If Scotty wins it, he definitely deserves the award. If he ends up winning, I think it's definitely a toss-up between the two. But I think my pick has to go to Evan Mobley. Here again, you said all season. I think he's been so solid and so good for that Cavs team the entire season, literally from the first game. But I think, I guess this is hard to say, but I was gonna say that Evan Mobley, like the roles they have on their team, and that Evan Mobley might have a bigger role for the Cavs than Scotty Barnes does for Toronto. But I don't know if that's if that is the case. But I think just statistically, the season that Evan Mobley's having on the defensive end as a rookie is pretty remarkable. But I mean, damn, it can really go to any of the three. I think Cade's case, the only thing that hurts his is that he didn't play as many games. And if he played the way he played, even though he came off a little slow to begin with, I think he definitely would be right up there. I mean, he is up there, but I'm saying he could very well be the runaway with the award. But I mean, if I'm just making a pick, I'm going with Evan Mobley.
All right. Yeah. The article, Dan Devine breaks down the entire list of reasons for each player and why they are nominated and why they have a case for the award. I mean, obviously, we can't get into that because this pod would probably last for 3 hours if we were to do it on every award. So we're just like running through it. I guess we can move into. You want to move in the sixth man of the year?
Even though whatever order.
Yeah,
we can go.
We'll move to sixth man of the year. It's sort of obvious who it is.
The Woods.
No. I'm dead. Sixth man of the year, he has Tyler Hero, who is obviously my pick. Tyler Hero, Kevin Love, and Cameron Johnson. I'll start. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, we have the same pick. My pick is also Tyler Hero.
Yeah, so Tyler Hero, I mean, just from the opening game, he came out firing on all cylinders. I think he scored like 20 plus points off the bench in like seven of the Heat's first 11 games, and I think he's got to be averaging close to at least
20.
Yeah, it's got to be averaging at least 20 this season on at least 45%, at least 50% from the field, and at least 40% from three. This season, he's averaging 24 and my bad. 21, I'm gonna round up. 21, 5, and 4 on 45% from the field and 40% from three. Literally, the stats just go to show you that he is the sixth man of the year. He's playing. There was this whole case that I've seen on Twitter that like, oh, he plays 33 minutes. But if we're really basing the sixth man award based off minutes, like a lot of the winners in the past who have won this award have played who have played 30 minutes, such as a Lou Williams, such as a Jamal Crawford. They've played at late games.
For sure.
Like to narrow that award down to, oh, it's based on how many minutes you play off the bench. Like Tyler Hero has been a huge catalyst for why the Heat are so good, because Duncan Robinson has struggled a lot this year, struggled more than what his contract says. But
No, I'm 100%. And again, like you mentioned earlier, this is a whole season award, and Tyler Hero's been that the entire season. So, I mean, I don't think there's a question on who wins it.
mm-hmm. As for the other candidates for Kevin Love and Cameron Johnson, Kevin Love, he has been a solid player for the Cavs this year. Honestly, I kind of wanted him to get out of Cleveland after last year, because I thought he needed to be on a contending team. But it just goes to show that he had loyalty for Cleveland, especially to just finish out his contract. And he turned that team from a fringe like lottery team to a board should be playoff team, but well, due to injuries, they might not make it. And then as for Cameron Johnson being the sixth man for the Phoenix Suns, I mean, not much more needs to be said. Playing behind Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder off the bench, could stretch the floor, play defense at an elite level. Like, there's no reason why he couldn't win it. It's just Tyler Hero has been hot from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, well said.
We'll move to most improved, actually. Most improved player for Dan Devine. He has John Morant #1, Darius Garland #2, DeJounte Murray #3, and he has missing the cut. He has Desmond Bane and Tyrese Maxey.
I mean, who's your pick? Let's hear your pick first.
My pick is Tyrese Maxey, because Tyrese Maxey went from a 8-point per game scorer to a 17-point per game scorer throughout the season, in a year where the Sixers pretty much missed their second best player, and Tobias Harris was struggling offensively for a huge chunk of the season. And he knew he had to step up in Ben's absence, and that's what he did. He averaged, I think, 17, 4, and I want to say 17, 2 rebounds and 4 assists on, I think, like, I want to say, let me look, but I think it's like 40% from the field, but he shot, no, maybe I'm wrong. It might be 50%. But his 3-point percentage went from like 30% to 42%. And I think he ended up being like the third best 3-point percentage, I think, behind Luke Kennard. Can't remember the second player. And then he was third. But I think he deserves most improved player. Yeah, he averaged 17, 3, and 4 on 48% from the field and 43% from 3. While John Morant has had a great season, don't get me wrong, I think all the missed games, all the games he missed, and the fact that I don't want to say his team played good without him, but I feel like we knew the jump was going to come. Obviously, we didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but I think Tyrese Maxey has had a good most improved player year, especially given the fact that he jumped his scoring averages by 9 points per game. If I'm not mistaken, did I say Jordan Poole on this list? Oh no, I did not. Jordan Poole was another name on this list that a lot of that. Oh no, is Jordan Poole a second-year player? Maybe not. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. Jordan Poole was a name that a lot of people are mentioning for most improved, given the fact that he kind of took the same leap Tyrese Maxey did. But I think Tyrese Maxey being put in a situation where the Sixers are missing their second best player and he stepped up in a huge way and was a big catalyst for why the Sixers were clinging on to that fifth, sixth seed for the majority of the season until the James Harden trade. Is a reason why I think Tyrese Maxey should win Most Improved Player.
Yeah, I think I've had my debates on it. I think the two names for me was DeJounte Murray and Maxey. Jordan Poole, though he does deserve his credit and everything, I think he kind of like just got hot at the right time, if that makes sense. And my case for DeJounte, let me just give my pick here. My pick is also Tyrese Maxey, for all the reasons you said. But I mean, I had to think about it for a while because DeJounte, I mean, just being the all-star caliber player, like back to his full potential from being injured for being down for a while. I think the comeback he's had is very. I mean, he's had a great season, and I think he is a reason why the Spurs have stayed competitive and they're in the play-in is because of him. And that was kind of my take on why I would have DeJounte there. Just the fact that like he like damn near single-handedly carried that Spurs to the play-in spot. But again, I have to give the edge to Maxey. I think from a number standpoint, like you said, he just jumped regardless. And even after the Harden trade, I don't even think his production went down at all, which is just a testament to how much he's improved as a player. So I think Maxey definitely deserves it.
Agreed. We'll move on to Defensive Player of the Year. Mr. Devine has Bam Adebayo winning the award, Marcus Smart at number 2, Mikal Bridges at number 3. And he has missing the cut, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Robert Williams.
Who do you have for Defensive Player of the Year?
Personally, I like to give this is a toss-up because Mikal Bridges is one of those players that just Mikal and Marcus Smart. Let me show Mark some love because that man is a defensive juggernaut for the Boston Celtics. Personally, I have Mikal Bridges because he was a huge part of the reason why the Suns were the number 1 seed. But I wouldn't be opposed to Bam Adebayo winning the award just because he can guard 1 through 5. But I have Mikal Bridges winning.
That's interesting because I also have Mikal Bridges winning this award. Coming into it, my pick was Giannis early on in the season, but I mean, Mikal goes out. I mean, I don't even know how to even make it. Like, he kind of makes defending look very effortless, I think. He's very like nonchalant, and just the way he plays, you wouldn't even like see him being like super aggressive, like you would a Smart or like a Pat Beverly. He's not a guy that comes out on defense like that. But I mean, he's one of the best defenders in the league, and again, like you said, a big part why the Suns are there. So yeah, my pick is Mikal. Could be a little bit of a homer pick by us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just make this known. We did not we were making our picks off the jump. Like, it's not like, oh, we talked about it beforehand. Like, this is just straight off the jump.
Yeah.
I think the one reason why Bam's case might not be made is he missed games. He played fewer than 60 games, and that might be a knock on his case. But while the Heat's defense is really good, Mikal Bridges is a huge catalyst to the number 2 ranked defense in the league, and Marcus Smart is case is made for the number one defense in the league. So you have two defensive players. You have two wing players lead being major catalysts for the number one and number two ranked defenses in the league. So it's just a toss up of who would you rather prefer, and I both have Mikal Bridges at that point.
You love to see it too, because this is a big man award, so great to see a wing and a guard at the forefront of this award.
And now
I think,
oh god,
yeah, let's get into this. We got the same pick here.
Yeah, we've mentioned this like several times. For MVP, it's for both of us. It's Nikola Jokic. Reasons go beyond, and I don't care. Whoever watches this can come at me in my Twitter DMs and all of that. I don't care. Jokic led his team to what is their record, like 48 and something, 48 and 34, being the only star player on his team with a bunch of role players we'll basically say the entirety of the season, because Michael Porter Jr. only played 9 games this season. But this man literally was putting up 26, 13, and 8 for the entire season. And then I think in the latter half after the All-Star break, he was putting up like 30, like 16 and 8, like just outrageous numbers from a center that we may see again, but it can probably only be duplicated by a handful of players, right? No knock to Joel Embiid at all, because he's had a fantastic season, but I think the knock on him has to do with the fact that he got James Harden in the latter half of the season, so his looks primarily became easier compared to compared to Nikola Jokic, where he was basically facilitator, scorer, and his defense went up, which a lot of people gave him knock for. His defense really improved, and as we're not the biggest advanced stats people, like we know some of the advanced stats and what they mean, but we don't really look at it to the standpoint most people do. But when you just look at Nikola Jokic and his stats and the games he had where he actually dominated, there's no case. Plus, he literally is the only player to average 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists?
Yeah, I think it was.
2,000, 1,000, and 1,000. The only player that came close is Westbrook, who had, I think, 2,800 points, 800. Maybe not 2,800 points, 2,000 points, 800 assists, and 800 rebounds, which was his MVP season. Your thoughts?
I mean, you said it. I mean, I don't think there's a lot I have to say about why I'm giving this award to Jokic. The man deserves it. Another amazing season from him. And I mean, you take Jokic off the Nuggets, and I mean, you can imagine how that would go. But you said it perfectly.
Exactly. And I saw a post by someone, and they were like using advanced stats to like say, oh, the Sixers advanced stats is better than Nuggets. But I'm like, and then I saw another tweet where they were like saying, oh, Joel Embiid has the most 40 and 10 games in NBA history. And I'm like, that's not relative to like the argument being made that who's the most valuable player on their team. And I think Steve Ashburner, who's a writer for the NBA TV, or well, not NBA TV, but NBA.com, he said that he tweeted earlier today that like if you want an award based on like statistical evidence, you'd want a most offensive player of the year, right? As I've stated earlier in an episode. that they could make a case to have a most offensive player of the year, similar to like the NFL. But if you're looking for a player's body of work over an entire season and how much value they provide to their team, you're going to have a most valuable player award. And there's no doubt that if you take Nikola Jokic off of the Nuggets without MPJ and without Jamal Murray, this Nuggets team is literally probably tied with Houston and OKC for the worst record in the Western Conference.
Gotta be 100%.
Compared to, I mean, I know the Sixers got James Harden late, but if you have James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, maybe Tobias Harris shows up, but if you have that sort of team, like they're at least a play-in team, if not borderline play-in team. Like it like Nikola Jokic just this season has just been more valuable to his team, and you can make all the arguments you want, but the facts and the stats and the evidence shows that Nikola Jokic is literally more valuable to his team than any of the other candidates for this award. But anyways, moving on. I guess we can get into the All NBA teams. So Dan Devine, I mean, for this award, I feel like the NBA should just make it positionless. But for
100%.
but for just to follow the NBA rules as if we were working in the NBA, quote unquote, or had a vote, we'll just use positions. So Dan Devine and his first team is literally my first team. It's Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic.
I think mine I have one player different. Instead of Tatum, I have LeBron James.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, I mean, Jason Tatum, for sure. I could see it that both ways, but I don't know, man. Like even with the record being as bad as the Lakers have been, I think that the games they have won is because of LeBron James. I mean, there's he's damn near led the league in scoring. He was right there. I don't know, dude. Like, I could see Tatum for sure because just based off of record and just the consistency and everything. But probably a bit of a homer pick for me. I mean, there's a reason why I am nowhere near getting a ballot, but yeah, give me LeBron James. But my second team, Tatum is for sure on there.
Okay. Let me just fill out mine, and then we can move on to the second team.
I do think the first team, everyone that's on there, very deserving of first team. I don't think there's any question about it. I think the only thing is that the NBA should take off position locks because I think Joel Embiid deserves first team for sure. If they took off positions, what would your first team look like?
First team for me is Luka and Devin Booker in the backcourt stays. My first team would be Giannis, or my front court, I should say, would be Giannis, Joel, Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone can agree on that too. So that spot definitely should go to Joel Embiid. But
you said Jason Tatum in the front court, so let me change that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for Mr. Devine's second team, obviously he has Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan at the forward spots, and the guards are John Morant and Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the
can't
backcourt is
you can't argue with
I don't
Stephen
think
Curry.
you can't argue with Steph and Ja. That's for sure. Those two are locks. I think if Ja never got injured, he was definitely taking the first team spot. I think that's the only thing against him.
Oh wait, so you have DeMar on the third team? I'm guessing.
I do.
Okay.
I had to pick between the DeMar and Jason Tatum. That was my predicament because like I want to give it to DeMar because of everything he's done this season. I mean, amazing season, but I mean, Jason Tatum and the damn Celtics have been so good post All-Star break. I had to give it to JT on the second team. It's a tough out, dude. I don't even know how people do this.
For real.
I guess this is why there's so much controversy, but it's like, man, it's such a tough decision to make between all these guys. I mean, I think all the NBA teams, I guess the first and second team are pretty consensus.
Yeah, the third team is sort of where
for the most part.
Yeah, the third team is sort of where like it's kind of pick your poison in a sense. So for his third team, Dan has at the guard spots, he has Chris Paul and Trae Young. And then in the front court, he has Pascal Siakam, LeBron James, and Karl Anthony Towns.
What do you got for your third?
That's literally like my third team.
Okay. My backcourt, it's the same thing. Chris Paul, Trae. And then I have DeMar DeRozan, Julius Randle, and Karl Anthony Towns.
Paul, Trae Young. And I mean, for this list, it's not even like you can't argue. I mean, obviously you can like mix and match. Wait, you have LeBron. Oh wait, no, you have DeMar on the third team. So yeah, that I was like, wait a minute, but you said you had DeMar for the third team.
Yeah, it's DeMar and Julius Randle.
Julius Randle.
I thought I was gonna catch you on that one.
This man trolling right now. Okay, almost, but you almost had me there, but DeMar on third team. Only reason why I have LeBron on the third team is because of obviously the Lakers season. Not discrediting what LeBron did because he was he's not even arguably, he was the main reason why the Lakers were even sort of successful this season. But with their record and them not making the playoffs and them being the only him being the only player on this list of the 3 all NBA teams to not make the playoffs, I just think that kind of has to discredit him from the first 2 all NBA teams. So I just put him on the third. And
completely fair. It's just that it's LeBron James.
Hey, he gets passes, but he doesn't get a pass for the NBA team. I'm gonna just let him know that. Moving on. We'll go to the all rookie team. So all rookie, we'll start with the first team. Which is, I mean, ours probably are similar. First team for Mr. Divine is Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, and Herbert Jones.
Is that your first team?
Yeah, you can't really. I don't think there's anyone you could really put in front of in front of any of those guys. Herb Jones was a real big catalyst for why the Pelicans were able to get the ninth seed as a rookie. So uh yeah, he makes the first team over a guy such as like Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, no arguments. I'm with that.
All right, so guards. Now I think my list for second team is going to differ than Mr. Devine's. I will agree with that just based off what I see. Who's oh wow. Wait, Kate Cunningham. I get this one isn't even positionless, so we'll just go Scotty Barnes.
Just put their last names.
Okay. Yeah. Barnes. Wagner.
Look at Cat. Cat's complaining.
Really? What's the score? Because while I'm typing, I'm not really looking at it. So
Up to.
all right. So we as I predicted it would be close. I didn't think we were just going to sort of run over them. Um
Oh, that's Cat's fifth.
oh snap. Okay. Sorry to whoever's listening to this. We are really excited for this game. You ready to hear second team?
Yeah. Sorry,
Uh
I'm in this game. Yeah.
no, you good. I mean, I'm sort of looking up at my TV screen as well. Second
Mm.
team, he has Josh Giddey, Io DeSumo, Jalen Green, Bones Highland, and Jonathan Kuminga.
Hmm. I think Kuminga was. I did not have Kuminga in that spot.
Who would you replace him with?
Repeat it again. It was.
Io DeSumo,
Uh-huh.
Josh Giddey, Jalen Green,
Mm-hmm.
Bones Highland,
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Kuminga.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have Kuminga there. I had Chris Duarte.
Hmm.
Chris
Interesting.
Duarte, who was I mean, it was either him or Ben Simmons. I had to pick one, and I picked Chris Duarte. I mean,
Interesting.
I think Chris he came off to the season very strong, looking like he could have made our rookie first team. But I think um, he's very very solid the rest of the year. I don't know, dude. I gave Chris Duarte the edge just over the fact that he did it the whole season, I guess.
I mean, to be honest, I have the same list. It's just, and I might be hated by some people, but I took off Josh Giddey for Chris Duarte.
Interesting. See, that is one that I my debate was between Herb Jones and Josh Giddey on the first team. That was my debate. Giddey was a lock to make my rookie team for sure.
Like I'm looking at the rookie stats. They both played the same amount of games. Chris Duarte played 55. Josh Giddey played 54. They both finished the season injured. Uh, Chris Duarte shot better than Josh Giddey. Obviously, Josh Giddey made up for the I don't want to say lack of scoring because he put up like triple doubles. But he made up for it with his assists and rebounds. But I think Chris Duarte, uh, ah, you know what? I might keep it the same actually. Keep Josh Giddey on there actually. That Chris Duarte has an argument, but yeah, just keep it the same. To be honest, I can make the argument, but it might not. It probably backfire in that. So we'll keep Josh Giddey on there. To be honest, Giddey. Desumu, Green, Highland, and Kuminga. Would you want to do a hypothetical third team in this case?
Would I want to? Sure.
Green.
Whose are we going off of? Yours?
Uh,
Because Duarte would be the odd guy out because I was very between with Kuminga anyways.
wait, who did you replace in your second? You replaced it Duarte with Kuminga. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so third team, at least for me, I have
Ben
Duarte.
Simmons.
I have Duarte, and you have Kuminga. Kuminga. Okay, so on my third team, just based off of the rankings I'm looking at, I have Alfred Şengün. I have Dave. Oh, that was another one I forgot. I have Davion Mitchell, Alfred Şengün. Corey Kispert was a rookie this year. Dang. Moving on. I didn't even realize that. Anyways, I have Alfred Şengün, Davion Mitchell, Zaire Williams, and my last pick was, I think I threw Jalen Suggs on there just because. But he was like a debatable pick.
Not your guy in Washington.
Oh, Corey?
Yeah.
I mean, it could go both ways. Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll throw Corey on there. I forgot he was a rookie, Corey. To be honest.
Yeah. 22-year-old rookie.
So I have Şengün. How do you spell that? Just
UN.
Yeah, okay. I had Mitchell.
Davion. Williams.
Mitchell. Williams. And Kispert. Gosh, I'm trying to type one finger. Kispert. I'm pretty sure you have the last four at least.
Yep.
All right. All right. We'll move on to the all defensive teams. For this one, he has in the article, he has for defensive for the first team, he has at the guard spots Marcus Smart and Mikal Bridges, and in the front court, Jaren Jackson, Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert. And I actually agree with it, even though Mikal Bridges he partially played guard. If he's the defensive player of the year, he kind of has to be on the first team. We're not having a Marcus Hall.
You see that's what my question was, because is he a guard or is he a forward? Because when I was making my first team on defense, he was a forward.
So who was out?
Of the names you said?
Yeah.
My out was Giannis.
No, Giannis isn't even on first team.
Oh, who'd you say?
I said his first team was Mikal Bridges, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., Bam Adebayo, Rudy Gobert.
It was Jaren Jackson. I have Rudy, I have Bam, and then Mikal, and then I have Smart, and then that other guard spot I gave it to DeJounte. DeJounte Murray.
Oh, well, he did lead the league in steals, didn't he?
In steals, yeah, okay. He did. And I was considering Mikal as a forward.
So you have Murray. You said Smart, right?
Yeah, Smart, Bridges,
Bridges.
Adebayo, Gobert.
Okay, Adebayo. I was about to say, did you have Giannis or no?
I mean, wouldn't Bam be a center? Well, I guess here it's a forward, huh?
I mean, he played both.
Yeah, that is true.
And then for me, I had Smart. I took Jaren Jackson off the first team. I moved him to the second and threw Giannis on there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're still all defensive team, so like it doesn't matter if you're first or second. But while Jaren Jackson, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that he was my out. If Bridges, if I consider Bridges a guard, I would definitely put Smart Bridges, then throw Giannis in there. But I had to give Bridges the forward spot. I don't know. They just change up positions to fill stuff in. That's what I don't understand, because who's the backcourt in Phoenix? Right?
Booker. Oh yeah, well yeah.
So that was my impression of why I put him as a forward.
Adebayo, Gobert. And then for his second team, he has at the front court spots Joel Embiid, Robert Williams, Giannis, and then the guard spots Matisse Thybulle and Fred VanVleet.
My pick, I had Freddie, Matisse. I had Freddie, Matisse, Giannis, Jaren Jackson, Joel.
So you had VanVleet, Matisse, Thybulle. You had who?
Giannis.
I'm copy and pasting.
Triple
I do not
J.
feel like spelling.
Triple J and Joel.
Jackson Jr.
Update. Up 5 minute 20 in the first and third.
Okay. So we hanging on.
Cat really has 5.
That smart, and I knew Ty Lue was gonna have a way to make him foul out or play where he was going to have to foul on some possessions.
Well, that 5th foul he picked up because they called it a push off.
I actually have DeJounte Murray, Thybulle. I have DeJounte Murray.
Matisse was one that I didn't know if he was a guard or forward, but I just counted him as a guard.
Jackson Jr.
Tell me why Marcus Morris looks like a great value brand Carmelo Anthony right now.
I have Robert Williams. No, I have Robert Williams. And I have Embiid. All right. So I guess that's it.
Dude, hold on.
What?
PG just got caught for a push-off because he dropped off Jaden McDaniels.
Wait.
I don't think that was a push-off.
I mean, we are done with the pod. Do you want to do a Sporkle game that I found? It's based on MVPs.
You think we can get it through quick?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of the MVP, so we should.
All right, let's go.
We should at least be able to run this quick. All right, let me put my mic down.
Geez, I'm fired up though.
All right, put my mic down. Let me move my phone back.
This is gonna be kind of difficult. I didn't know we're going to the very first one.
All right. I mean, we can work our way from last year down, but I have a feeling I know who most of these are. All right, ready?
Let's go. 7 minutes. Yeah, we're on.
All right, Jokic. Antetokounmpo. Did I? Oh no, and that's I always do that. There we go.
I couldn't even tell you.
I always add that. And Harden. You have Westbrook,
Curry.
Curry,
Unanimous.
unanimous,
Mr. Unanimous.
Durant,
Durant.
James.
James. You got a couple of them.
Yep. Bulls, Rose,
Shout out to D Rose.
Kobe.
Kobe.
You got Dirk. No way. Nash back to back. You have Garnett.
KG.
You have Duncan. Should
Timmy.
be both years. AI.
AI.
You have
Shaq. O'Neal.
You have Malone. So Malone will fill out a lot of them. Jordan should be on here at least 5 times. Spurs 94,
Robinson?
95. Robinson. You have Rockets.
Barkley?
Hakeem. Elijah. I would say Hakeem.
I'll tell you the
Phoenix
year.
is Barkley.
I was sorry, my bad. Wrong year.
No, you were good. Lakers. What did we? Johnson? Yeah, okay. Magic, Bird for Boston. That should be obvious.
Larry Legend.
Sixers. We'll skip.
Did Kareem? Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's just skip to the ones we know. We know the local ones.
Portland. That can't be Bill Walton. Oh yeah, Bill Walton.
No way. Oh wow.
McAdoo for the Braves. Boston. One of these is Kuzi, so I know that. Oh, he's all the way at the top.
Oh, he's all the way up there.
Russell?
Who else we got? Russell?
No. Okay.
Be there a lot.
Chamberlain is on here a lot. And then one of these
Cincinnati Royals. I'm going with the big O. Oscar Robertson.
Oh, Robertson. Okay. One of these, I think is it the St. Louis Hawks? One of these is like Bob Pettit.
No, for sure. It's probably the first one, yeah. 2 T's up front.
There we go. Oh, 2.
Gotcha.
Both. All right.
Did Wes Unseld win an MVP?
I think so. Wes Unseld. The Knicks. Frazier? Nope. No, Willis Reed.
Oh, Willis Reed.
Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia Sixers. We have 3 minutes, so we're fine. Boston 72-73. That would be no.
You probably spelled it wrong. That's a good guess, though.
Havlicek. I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell. I'm pretty sure that's how you spell his name, though. John. Yeah, I spelled it right. Who was on the Sixers? Oh, Irving.
Oh, bro.
There we go. So 1. We're just missing 72-73 Boston. That was before Mikal and Perry. Wait, could it be? Nope. Okay.
No
it was
way
before
he won
that.
MVP, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say it's
no
before.
No way he won MVP.
We're missing an easy one. And I know we are. 72-73 Boston.
Who's before? Dennis Johnson?
No.
No way. No.
Can't be Dennis Johnson because we already had Magic.
Yeah, it was no way. I'm just going through Celtics players.
It
has to be it's got to be a white guy. It's got to be a white guy here. Sam Jones?
Sam Jones? Nope.
Oh, I really had faith in that one after I said it was a white.
Who could it be? Got a minute and 30 left. I know who it is, and he played for Phoenix. Nope. Okay. West. Oh,
Oh,
no. I spelled his name wrong.
you spelled it wrong.
West.
I just saw it. I just saw it.
Is that how you spell it? Westfall.
I don't know. I just know there's an H in there somewhere. I don't know how to spell it though.
Ah,
Damn, George, we're gonna be so mad at ourselves after this. Paul Pierce.
wait, no. Uh, who else was on there? Sanders? Tom Sanders? No. Uh, oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. Dave Cowens.
Oh my God, Dave Cowens. God damn it, Dave Cowens. I knew it was a white guy.
That
Not
that
too bad.
that Celtics
Not too
team had
bad.
no names outside of John Havlicek. John Havlicek isn't even on. No, yeah, he is on that team. John Havlicek, Dave Cowens, JoJo White, Tom Sanders, Paul Silas, and a bunch of other names on there. But like, I
I
forget
knew
Dave.
Bob Pettit was the OG.
Yeah, remember he's
I knew that one.
before Westbrook. Remember he was the only, or he is the only MVP to win with a losing record. So I'll stop
Yeah,
sharing, and I guess we can close out and finish watching this Clipper game once we turn this pod off.
for sure.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Anything else I want to say? I think next pod or in the future, look out for some NBA draft talk. Probably post playoffs, so it might be a while, but just be on the lookout for that. My mock drafts are coming soon. My big board coming soon, and everything. So be ready for that.
You can take the lead on that one because I only know a few things about that. As for me, I don't have anything else I want to say. I mean, these are going up on YouTube, so if you see them on YouTube, you can like, share, and subscribe. And they're going to be on Spotify and all like the other podcasts, like Apple and all that. So give us 5 stars because we do know basketball, and I'm going to try at least to get other people, like friends and other podcasters and YouTubers that people may know on here, uh, as guests, just to talk basketball, because this is a game that is enjoyable to me, enjoyable to Carlos, enjoyable to all of us. And last words, that those were my last words. So I guess this is episode 4 of the 4 Out and 1 In podcast with your host George Hamilton III,
Carlos Costas.
and we're signing off.